Hello guys, I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. You're a returning subscriber. As always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, I want to talk to you about a story out of Indianapolis, Indiana. Shout out Indianapolis, you know what I'm saying? And it's about this guy right here. His name is Brent Smith. And you know, on some of my videos, I talk about, you know, certain crimes. Home invasion is one of them. And, you know, it's on the rise. In no way should a stranger knock on your door, not know you, and have the balls to jump and try to run up in your house, victimize you, possibly your family, and take whatever they feel it is they think you have or something that they want. This one right here, this story here is a little bit different, where the tables turn and it cost somebody their life. Now, I'm going to play you this video, and then we're going to come back and talk about it. But I want you to look at the reaction of this man as he explains what happens, and then the aftermath and the effect that it has on him, on his very being. I respect this dude. Check it out.
I sat and watched him pull his mask down at my front door. And I still, like I said, I didn't register, man.
A homeowner on the city's Far East Side wrestled a gun away from a burglar and shot him. Good evening to you at 5 o'clock. I'm Mark Mullins.
And I'm Nicole Griffin. The homeowner survived the encounter. The intruder did not. Tonight, the Marion County Prosecutor's Office is checking out the man's story, a story he is sharing with WRTV's Adam Shooms.
And that homeowner tells me Tuesday night he saw that suspect walk up to his front door, put a ski mask on, and force himself inside the home. Inside the home, the homeowner tells me a struggle began before shots were fired.
He smacked me in the head with the gun and told me I knew what it was. And then I'm like, I yelled out. I said, hey, they're trying to rob me.
More than a dozen bullet holes mark Brent Smith's home on Indy's Far East Side. Signs of what he says was an act to protect himself. Police say it was an attempted home invasion. Smith says the suspect's gun was fired as he was struggling with the masked man.
When the gun went off, I hear thousands of gunshots. So I was trying to get up here to push my door back up, but they kept firing. So the guy, it was his gun. I had his gun, so I opened up my door and was shooting out. But when I opened the door, I didn't even know he was right there, man. I didn't know I shot him, man.
Smith says a group of people then got in a car and sped away.
That don't make no sense, man. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that.
But in Indiana, people have a right to defend their homes.
What the law says specifically is that I am justified in using reasonable force, including deadly force, if I reasonably believe that that force, meaning deadly force, is necessary to prevent or terminate an unlawful attack on or entry into my dwelling.
Attorney Guy Relford is an attorney and is also a firearms instructor. He isn't connected with this case, but says people like Smith who are in this kind of situation are protected legally.
If you're justified at that time, you have no obligation to retreat. In other words, run away first before you defend yourself. And there's and that's what makes it a stand your ground law.
Indiana law doesn't require proof that anyone was scared for their lives or anyone else's inside the property, just proof that someone was trying to break in or commit a crime. Marion County Prosecutor's Office is still reviewing the case, and there has been no information on charges for Smith.
Y'all need to find you something productive to do.
But he's already made a decision on what to do after this life-changing event.
I've been here, man, for about 22 years, man. Like, man, I'm like my neighbors. Man, I'm ready to move.
In Indianapolis, Adam Shooms, WRTV.
Hey guys, let me read this small article to you real quick that has some interesting facts in it that the video didn't have. Check it out. It reads as follows. An attempted armed robbery turned deadly on Masai Road near 38th Street and Post Road Tuesday night. I don't know what would have happened if I hadn't got that gun. I just don't. I just know what transpired and what the end result was, said Brent Smith, the homeowner. Wednesday, the daylight exposed the damage done after Smith said dozens of shots were fired from his home. Smith said that just before the gunfire erupted, he saw someone approaching his home on his Ring doorbell. When he went to see who it was, the man attacked him. I can't remember if I had my hand on the door and went to pick the dog up with just one hand, or I may have let the door go. But by the time I'm walking with the dog, he done followed me into the home and hit me in the head with the gun, Smith said. It was then, Smith said, he and the man got into a scuffle inside his home, breaking Smith's table and knocking the gun free from the suspect's hands. Once he had got up off me, Smith says, when we were wrestling, I had turned and just fired the gun. He jumps and comes outside, and then the gunfire started, Smith said. Smith said 2 other people fired dozens of shots into his home from the street, shattering an SUV's windows and leaving holes in the siding of Smith's home. His buddies were shooting so many times, man, and I was shooting back with his gun. Then I ran out of bullets with his gun, and then I just went and grabbed my gun and started firing it. And that's when basically, I don't know if I ran out of bullets. That's how it's written. I don't know if they or I ran out of bullets in that gun, and then they drove off, Smith said. Smith's front door, IMPD, found 22-year-old Damon Swanigan Jr. shot to death. He was only 22 years old, man. That's what F's with me the most, Smith said as he began to get choked up. Guys, that's the story of Brent Smith, man. It's a good thing he survived. See what he said. 3 people came to his house, didn't even know him. Bust in there, hit him with the gun. Goofy stuff. You come in there on a violent level. Boom. You know what it is. That would have set me off. Seriously. You could tell this is a good dude. You could tell he's well respected by his neighbors too. You could see he cared. Because I'm going to tell you, you see how he was? He broke down. And because he's like, hey, I looked, there was a 22-year-old kid on the ground. Just 22, that messes me up, he said. Man, people don't understand when they do this type of stuff. It ain't like they targeting bad people. Sometimes, man, you targeting people that ain't got nothing to do with anything, and they good people. I think this guy, Brent Smith, was a good dude. And it done ruined his experience. That's a traumatic experience. You see how he said he was just fighting for his life. He wasn't even thinking about being scared or not. And that's what happens when you get guns put in your face and you got to fight. And it's like a war, not over land, but over your life. It's a different experience. When you're watching it on TV and you're like, oh man, they must be horrified and stuff like that. Everything goes in slow motion when this type of stuff happens. I mean, it speeds up eventually, but initially, you're like, what, you're trying to process what's happening and everything slows down. Luckily, he got out of there. He was lucky. He was lucky. Them guys came in there on some scare tactics. The dude hit him with the gun and just bust up in his house. Didn't even know the man. And he suffered what he suffered. How can anybody care about you when you don't care about yourself? That was a reckless move. It was. Now it messed up this guy's living experience in that house. He said 22 years he'd been there. 22 years. He done built a relationship with his neighbors and everything. And what's the first thing out of his mouth? Man, I'm ready to move. He was emotional on TV. I mean, for a man to cry on camera like that, it's got to be something that get to you internally. Ruined his whole experience. All them times that man making mortgage payments and doing the right things in life, just trying to live in peace, to have some strangers come and do that. That's the big issue I have with this stuff. When people get victimized, you doing stuff that people will always remember. Every time he go to his front door, he got to remember about getting hit in the head with a gun. Or every time he go to put keys in to open the front door, he remembers a dead body there of somebody whose life he took that was 22 years old, just a kid. And he got to remember that. Constant reminder. People need to think before they go out here and do crimes, man. Like I tell you, it's a ripple effect. That right there never go away. So now he's like in his head, like a lot of other people, when they get attacked at home, I don't even want to be here no more. It's a damn shame. Because you picked this place initially to start your dream of living in peace. Man, I hope people wake up one day, man. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Region channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.